So hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'll be showing you how I created this nice, or maybe you can say decent looking scene using Blender 3D. This scene is just really simple. It just contains pile of rocks and some pillars. I'll be showing you everything, like how I made these rocks, these really cool looking textures, these grounds, how I added these grass to it, and also these volumetrics. And I will show you everything, how I did each and everything in this. So yes, let's jump into Blender and yeah, let's do it. So first of all, let's delete these two and let's add a plane. Yeah. And I will just turn on my screencast keys. And yes, let's select this plane and set its size around maybe 30. Yes. And now go to edit mode by pressing tab, right click, subdivide. And now let's subdivide it 100 times and subdivide it again, and let's subdivide it one last time. If your PC cannot handle this much subdivisions, you can just leave it at this much, but I will just have this much subdivisions. Now let's go to this modifiers tab and let's add a displace modifier. Click this new button and let's go to this textures tab. Let's set this thing to clouds, and now let's increase the size to 2.0, and let's increase the depth to 24 and just leave it as it is. And now let's increase the contrast. Yeah. And now after increasing the contrast, we can play with these values until it looks good for us. After playing with these values, I think this much, yes, this much is good for me. This much, yeah. Let's make this a little bigger. Yeah, like this much. Remember, you can always just, play, adjust these values here also. Like we can adjust the mid level. Yes, this looks good for me. Now let's move to these rocks. Let's see how I created these rocks. So let's jump back to Blender and now let's add a cube. Scale it. Let's make it a little bit bigger, like this much. Let's bring it here. Yeah, like this. Now I will just go to sculpt mode and I will just check, click here, dynamic topology toggle. And let's just press OK. And let's set this value to 6 maybe. And now let's select this clay strips tool. And let's increase the brush size by pressing F. And let's make some simple patterns like this, like randomly. Yes, it is like a very easy and efficient way to model some uneven terrains or some rocks. We could even have made this plane using this tool, but yes, this method was also good. I mean, in Blender, there's just like many methods to do a single thing. So yeah, adjust the strength, adjust the brush size, and do some experiments. I mean, it's all about practice. So yes, you'll get used to it, even if you do it like 10 to 20 minutes. It's very simple, friends. So yes. Yes, now I think we are done with this then. Nice, let's place it here. Let's place it like this. Maybe let's rotate it a bit. Yeah, nice. Now let's just hide this thing. Now let's add a UV sphere, scale it like this much. Let's add a subdivision surface modifier, where it is. Yes, it is here. And let's set the steps to 2 and let's apply it. Simple. Let's change its shape, something like this. Yeah, something like this. Let's go back to sculpt mode and let's turn on dynamic topology toggle. We can play with these values on the tools tab, like the hardness and all the other things. So yes, it's all about experimenting and giving this thing a proper shape. You can use different tools, like I will just use the scrap tool and push it little downwards and just give it some uneven shapes. Yes, I think this should be good because see, I'm not doing this side or this below side because it this side won't be showing in the camera. Like if I put the camera right here, wait, let me just set the camera. Yes, these areas won't be visible in the camera, so I'm not doing these areas. So now let's add some cubes this time and scale it like this, yeah. And go to edit mode, select all of these things, shift D, press G, and yeah, okay. Now let's go back to object mode and sorry, sculpt mode. Let's turn on dynamic topology, control D. Okay, the so first two times didn't work for me. So I'm just doing it all over again. Well, guys, even I found this method yesterday only, so I'm not perfect in it. Well, yes, I think this much should work. Now let's unhide our first rock and yes, place it somewhere here. Nice. Now let's duplicate this by pressing Alt D instead of Shift D. It's gonna save your precious polygons. Yeah. Let's keep it like something somewhere here. Yes. Nice. So now let's. Yes. This is good. This is good. Let's go to cycles, GPU. Okay, we got something like this. Let's try adding an HDRI. Let's go to this world tab. Let's add a environment texture node. And also let's press Control T with node wrangler add-on turned on. So I will select this HDRI, something which contains nice shadows. Yes, this like this thing is good. And I will also turn on this transparency under the this film tab. Yes, I'm just checking how the shadows and all the things would look in the rendered mode. Yes, nice, man. I mean, it's pretty nice because see, it looks like rocks, obviously. It's not that too bad. And yes, as you can see here in this one, we got a lot of bad topology and all the things. So what we can do is add a decimate modifier. Yes, we can reduce this ratio to something like point 0.4. Yes, point. Yes, point 0.4 should be good value. I mean, in most of the cases, it works for me. Yes, as you can see here, it instantly reduced the count of primitives. I mean the polygons. Yes. Let's do same thing with this object also. Decimate, set it to like point 0.4. I think we should keep it under like 0.6 because we are going to need some polygons later on. I mean, I will show you why we need some polygons. So first of all, let's texture this plane. So let's go to material mode. Let's go to ambient CG and let's search for ground and let's choose our texture. Yes, I think this one should work. I will go with 4K JPEG textures. And yes, it is downloading. After downloading these, let's extract it. And yeah, we got all these different maps. And now let's go back here. You have to go to this, the shader editor and select this object mode, select this plane and press new. Now let's go to edit preferences, and here in the add-ons, you have to enable your node wrangler. Yes, this add-on. Just make sure it's checked. Save preferences, close it, and now while selecting this principal BSDF, press Ctrl Shift and T, and this is going to open your file browser and locate where your textures are saved. Like mine is saved here. And now let's just press A to select everything and select this. Yes, it's automatically gonna detect every textures and set it up for you. Now you can see it is kind of big. It is very big. So to fix that, let's go to scale and change this value to something like 3 of both X and Y axis. Let's rotate it something somewhere here. Now let's go to this rendered view, and yes, as you can see, we got little displacements, and yes, it looks nice. Just set the displacement scale to point. I mean, whatever value just works well for you. Yes, I think this thing works well for me. The lighting is not that good right now. I will change it later on for sure, like of this scene. Now, let's go back to material preview. Now let's texture this. So for this, uh, let's press Ctrl Shift T. Well, I have already downloaded some nice textures here. You can always just go to ambient CG and search for whatever texture you need, and yes, download them and bring it here. Yes, let's use this cliffside texture. And yes, now here you can see texture is not applied like in this one. So now what you need to do is just go to edit mode, press A, press U, and then select this cube projection. And let's go back to object mode. And yes, now as you can see, it is same like this. So now let's adjust the scale in this one also, like 2 or maybe 4 should be good. Yes, 4 should be good. Now let's view it here. Yes, as you can see, we have some pretty nice results. I mean, if you don't like the textures, you can always change it. And yes, also you should go to this material section and go under settings, just turn on displacement and bump. Now you can you will get some these weird kind of texture. To fix that, go to this displacement node in this shader editor and scale it down somewhere like point two. Yes, I think point two or 0.18 should be good value for this thing. Let's just play with the values, whatever looks the best, keep it. So now let's do the same thing with this one. So to apply, I'm gonna just apply the same texture. So select this one and I will name it like, let's name it rock texture. So let's go to this one, press here, select the rock texture, tab, select all, U, cube projection. And yes, now as you can see here, we have some different displacement. I mean, in this one, we need to adjust the displacement. So, and if we adjust the displacement in this one, it will affect both of them because it is like kind of like linked. But to prevent that, just uh, click this icon, and now when you just do it, it'll just affect the second one. Nice. Now let's do the same thing for this one. Cube projection. Yes, looks nice, looks nice. Well, as you can see in this one, I have used some different textures. I won't be creating the same thing because it'll be very difficult. I'm just showing you all the techniques and things I used in that one. So yeah. Now, as you can see, the textures look little bit better because yes, I have changed it. And now next, let's create these volumetrics. Yeah. So let's go back to Blender and let's add a cube, a big one. And with face select, just make sure this cube covers all of your scene. And now let's turn the visibility, sorry, not visibility, viewport visibility into bounds. Yeah. So now let's adjust it like this. And yes, before doing that, just select your camera and go to the camera settings and just change this value to 10,000. Now let's continue with our volumetrics. So let's select the cube, press new, and let's delete this thing and let's add a volume scatterer and connect this volume to volume. Now let's change the density to 0.01 maybe. Yes, this thing is good. And let's set the anisotropy to like something like 0.72. Yeah. And now, as you can see, we got some haze kind of thing like we have in this one. So yes. Now what I will do is I will go to world and decrease this strength to like negligible. Yes, I will just keep like zero point 0.3 or maybe 0.4. Yes. And now I will add a spotlight. Let's add a spotlight. And I will just press Shift T, and this is going to make the spotlight point wherever you want. And let's select this like, yes, 1 million. I think maybe divided by 2. Yes, let's try. Let's increase this blend value to all the way up. And now let's also increase this light's radius. And let's Nice. Now, let's change, I mean, experiment with this light's position. We can also turn on displacement and bump for this texture, I mean, the ground. Let's duplicate this slide and yeah, yes, yes, it looks good. Looks good. Now it's time for these pillars. You will get plenty of pillars on websites like Sketchfab. I took this from Blender Kit, but you might get better results from Sketchfab. I think so. So let's put it somewhere here. Perfect. Looks perfect to me. And I will also duplicate it once more. I know it looks dark here, but we will change it later on. Looks good. And yes, also you can adjust the roughness by adding a color ramp node between the roughness in these textures, like I'm doing here. Now, one last thing I would like to do is add a plane axis right here. Okay. Now let's select our camera, enable the depth of field, select this empty, and let's set it to zero point 0.6. And let's see now. Yes, I'll just put a rock right here to fill up the space. Should look good. Yes, this looks good. Now let's hit F12 and render this thing out. Yes, now let's do some post processing in our compositing. So let's open another window and let's go to image editor, search for renders results. And I would like to use some curves, RGB curves. And yes, precise. To be honest, it looks nice. Now let's search for color correction or maybe color balance. Yes, sorry. And with play with color balance, you will get some nice results. Now, yes, I know this looks a little different from this one, but yes, this is all the uh, things I did in this one. So yes, on based on this, you can make probably anything. And yes, I also did some color correction in Photoshop. That's why it is looking a little bit more cinematic. You can easily achieve this type of results. So yes, that's all for today's video. See you in the next one. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a feedback in the comments section. So yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next one.